Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here, and today is another Thrifty Canucks. Yay! I love shopping, especially thrift shop, and then showing you all the things that you can do with the items that you find and what's out there. So I'm going to start with the books. At my little thrift shop, the books are very often 8 to 10 for $1, depending on you know, sometimes they have a sale, 10 for $1, sometimes they're 8 for $1. And so whenever they get overloaded with books, they put on a sale. So this time it was all the children's books were 10 for $1, and then the adult books were $1 each for some of these bigger books, and then paperbacks are like 50 cents or 25 cents or something. Sometimes they're 10 for $1 as well. So I bought this book, and I misunderstood when I was buying it, thinking that I had to buy 10 books because they like it when you buy 10. So I gathered up 9 more books in the children's section, not realizing that I was paying $1 for this and that I didn't have to buy all these. But it really doesn't matter because I found some good stuff in the children's books. So altogether it cost me $2. Woohoo! I would have just bought this one, but I figured between Jen and Deb, you know, for $1, I got some great books that, you know, if they want them, they can let me know that they want them. Otherwise, I'll just add them to my collection. One in particular I'm still thinking on, but you know, if one of them puts up their hand for it, then then they can have it. Anyway, this one was the one I wanted the most, and it's a quilt of belonging. Okay, it's just very colorful, and it's not an old book. It's there's not a dust jacket on. This is a part of the book. It is 2005, so it's not that old. But can you imagine? I paid $1 for this book, and I'm sure somebody paid way more than that. I can't even imagine. I don't even know if we'll see a price on here or not. No, maybe at the back. Anyway, it's all on different quilts. So I'm going to enjoy looking through it and reading it and getting some inspiration. Because I'm really into slow stitching now, so you know, I may pick up a few tips or design ideas that I want to implement in my own way. So like for example, if you look at this design, it's not like I will actually sit down and embroider all of that stuff, but I may take a piece of fabric and sew down some appliques in the background. If you saw one of my last videos, I picked up a bunch of appliques at a very good price. So if they were dyed in the right color, I may, you know, use this as an example to lay down some appliques and then stitch some flowers and beads and sequins on top. So it's more for design ideas. So I will eventually pull the designs out that I want to replicate in my own way. And then, you know, it would be fun to show you the design, show you what I'm going to work with, put it together, then show you the finished result. So that might be a fun play as well in doing some videos. But then the rest of it, I thought I would love to use these by backing them with some other papers, and then maybe turning them into journal cards or tags or whatever for ephemera. Strangely, they seem to have cut off a lot of the images on this corner. So I'm thinking, wouldn't this make a really pretty envelope if I folded it up? This would be the inside part of the envelope, which, you know, you don't need that point anyway. So it's something I might consider to cut them out and then make them into little mini envelopes. Ooh, I'm getting excited about that idea. So it wasn't a total loss to have that piece cut off, but there's all different types of designs. Some are close to being full, like this one just missing a little corner, but again, these would make great little envelopes. So it's something I might consider. The bad part is I have to make a choice. Do I want this side? Oh, that's so pretty. Or do I want that side? So that's one of the other drawbacks that I have to consider when I'm taking this apart and when I'm using it. But so many beautiful designs. Now I really want to try the envelope idea and see if it works. You want to do it today? Okay, we'll just give it a shot here and see. I will pick one that falls on the corner here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to take this one just to see what happens. I'm going to cut it out. I know, I always tell you the first cut is the deepest. Let's see if this could actually work. Now in this case, this one is in the full design, so that would be kind of fun to make into sort of a doily journal card. Usually I do a much better job of this, but I'll just quickly flip through this and show you some of the designs are just darling. So yes, I will use it as a book of inspiration, as well as cut out the pieces for ephemera. And it just goes on and on and on. So there is well, if you go here, 284 pages divided by 2 is 140-ish designs that I can use to make envelopes and pretty them up and stuff. So I'm going to lose the other design on the other side, but just to give you an idea of how this could work, I'm sure I will have to, you know, adjust it, because I don't know if these designs are perfect in the shape, but we'll see. And at least then I can use the design as ephemera in my journals. So if this is the bottom, we fold these in first, right? That's how we do it. We fold these to a point. I may have to adjust this, but we're just trying this out. And we're going to fold that up to not quite, you know, the top there. I hope you can see this okay. And I probably could have done a better job of folding it, but we will practice on some other paper first until I get it right. It looks a little bit off, but yeah, it's a little bit. I'm gonna just maybe. It could also be the design on the photograph that isn't perfectly straight, but I think I'm guilty of. And there you have it, a pretty little envelope. It just has to be glued up and probably trimmed out. I would trim out these little corners here so that it lays flatter and thinner, but a perfect little way to make a fun envelope of ephemera. And like I said, I paid $1 for this book, so to have all of this that I can use for ephemera in my journals is pretty fun. And I will use some of the other bits and pieces, like this one is cut off. You know, there might be things here that I can use for washi tape, or, you know, sort of a faux washi tape, like strips and things. But I don't like to waste much of a book like this. So I will probably figure something out to do with all the rest of it. So there's my idea. So for $1, I think I did pretty good. And then because, like I said, I was a little confused at the time whether it was children's books or all the books, I ended up buying 9 other books, I think. Yeah, I think there's 9 here in the children's section. That are just cute little books. The 3 Little Pigs. I can already hear Deb squealing. Jack and the Beanstalk. The Friendly Book. The Black Hole. A Spaceship Adventure for Robots. That's pretty cool. Walt Disney. And then the little Golden Picture Dictionary. So girls, let me know if there's anything in there that you would like. Egyptology. Now this is the one that I'm sitting on the fence on whether or not I want to use it for myself or if I want to pass it on to somebody. I do love this cover, so I find that fun. It's got a plasticky feel to it though, so that kind of is not perfect for me. But inside, it's one of those tactile, hands-on books where some of the stuff you can lift up, like here's a postcard. Some of it I like, some of it I find too cutesy for my liking. Some of the pieces are missing, like whatever was in this part of the book is missing and it was torn. There are some strings here. I guess it held something at one time. Not sure. But yeah, there's just some different, you know, there's a big map here. So yeah, if one of them puts their hand up, I'm sure I can easily pass it on. Not too much twisting in my part. I mean, I paid 10 cents for it, so it's really easy to give it up. And I know you're probably going, oh my gosh, she paid 10 cents. But there is some rough spots in here. Yeah, this was another tie. It looks like something was in here, but nothing now. And then some different parts to it. Every once in a while, I do see a picture that I like this, what do they call this paper? I can't think what the name of it right now. Papyrus paper, right? Papyrus. I do have some of that. This is, I found interesting in its build up here, that it's just different images that you open up. So that's kind of a neat idea to maybe apply to a journal. So this might be something that I would want to replicate again in my own way to use in a journal, on a journal page where it opens up and reveals different sections within the journal. So that's kind of a cool idea. So something to think about there. So some of them are fun to see what they are. I don't know that all the pictures are something that I would want. Like I said, some of them are too cutesy for me that I wouldn't use them. Like this picture, like this is like a postcard of sorts. Okay, this opens up as well for a couple of pages. Yeah, 2 pages. Sort of a waterfall. And a lot of these pages are double, so you can take advantage of getting the images on both sides. You know, you just have to carefully pull them apart. The Book of the Dead, that's interesting. There's a few pictures in here as well. And then this eye here at the end of the journal. Like I said, it's got that really weird, it's kind of plasticky feeling, but this is kind of cool in this gold image. So I could see somebody cutting this out and using it on a journal. Fun. So there's that one. And then this was just a cute kitty cat book, little storybook. Love the imagery in here. Fun. And like I said, if the girls put up their hands, I will certainly pass it on. But if not, I would certainly use this for ephemera in different types of journals. The pictures are very whimsical. Like it. Another one, Be Good Girls, another cat book. Very colorful. I can see Jen wanting this one. So some fun cats in here, and a cute little story about mom and being good girls. Although were we good girls? Favorite fairy tales. Another book that I could see Jen or Deb wanting, but if not, this is okay. This got a date in here, 1981, but it is. I don't see a copyright in here. Made in England, so I don't see a copyright in here, but just going by the fact that it's dated to somebody in the corner here, that it says 1981, so it's already quite old. But yeah, so very large print, bright colored images, lots of fun images in here. You know, the tortoise and the hare story, just the fun things to add into a journal. I like the size of this for making envelopes, and I like the fact that it's got a very cottony feel to it. It's not glossed over, so this paper prints very nicely if you want to add more things to it by printing over top of the words. And sometimes I print over the whole design, so that the designs are more in the background, but fun paper to use nonetheless. And again, I paid 10 cents for it. For me, I would take the cover off and I would split this in half because it's such an oversize that it would make 2 journals with the front and back, and I probably could even salvage the spine to use for at least one of them. But yeah, so that's how I would handle working with this book. So that's it for the books. Then, and you know, I like to save the best for last, and I do have the best for last today. I'm going to go through, okay, this was a fun find. It is a stamp rack. Now, I think I paid $5 for it, and it's brand new. It hasn't even been opened out of the plastic package. So I'm going to set this up. I have a lot of, now this says it holds 16 stamps, you know, where they sit in these little loops. I have a lot of old banker stamps, you know, that say things like, you know, cash only, remittance, overdue, NSF. So I just thought, you know, if I put them on a rack like this close by me, I might be reminded to use them once in a while, because they are fun stamps. And so I forget sometimes that I have them. And it might be nice to just quickly stamp up a whole bunch of strips of, you know, white paper or ivory colored paper to have the images written on them. But, you know, out of sight, out of mind. So I figured if I put the stamps on something like this, I might be able to use them more. So I thought it was a pretty good find. And then, since I'm getting rid of all the big things here, this was a stack of Burgundy file folders for $3. Now, I don't know about you, but they're pretty expensive to buy these things. And this is the 15-inch size, I think, to hold 11.5 by, or 8.5 by 14 paper. So a great size. You can split this, you know, split it on the fold and fold up and make 2 really nice weekenders or, you know, folios that you can add into a journal. I paid $3 for this, and of course they gave me 2 elastics. But yeah, what I mean by that is to open this up here along the seam and then make 2 folded journal covers. So yeah, they're great for doing folios and little inserts that you put into a journal. And because they're burgundy, the decorating becomes very easy. So you're just decorating on the actual paper, easy to glue. I could do some fabric collage on there that is complementary to the burgundy color, and I know I would enjoy that. So yeah, got those. And then I picked this up for $3. Peacocks. Love the color. And it is Punch Studio. So this would have probably had some beautiful Peacock cards in it. Which is too bad because it came empty, but it is kind of a jewelry box type thing. So it has the little tray in here, and then I think, yeah, this stays inside. In really nice condition. I thought maybe I could put some peacock charms and, you know, things that I gather as far as little bits and pieces to sit on my desk to remind me that I want to make a peacock journal one day. And, you know, I always tell you that the universe gives you what you need, not necessarily what you want. And so I've noticed that everything I've been looking at lately is either peacock or elephants, because I've been talking about making an elephant journal too. And so I seem to find this stuff. It just gravitates towards me. I feel like I'm like a magnet sometimes when I go in these stores and I find these things. So I picked this up because of the colors, and it's just a pretty little box that I can sit on my desk with, you know, maybe some blue beads and teal colored beads and some stuff that might be used for a journal. Charms, small tags, that type of thing. And so when I found this for $3, I had a good laugh. It's like, yeah, can't get away from this stuff. And this was all in 3 stores in one day. So it just cracks me up how it all comes at once. So it's a cute little box, magnetic. it's taken some wear. It is cracked up here, but it is a brand new box of cards. So where I didn't get the cards in that box, I certainly got them in this box. And they are Peacock Cards with envelopes. There are 12 sets of, envelope and card. What I like about them, the envelope here is a nice folded envelope with a pretty design on it. And then the card, you open it up and it's not white inside. It has the same design on the inside. So you get double your money, and it's always nice to have cards that are decorated on the inside as well. So this is an easy insert to put into a journal. So yeah, it was just the luck to find this as well. I can't explain it, but it happens all the time. And if you're ever thrifting with me, you'll see it, that it happens all the time. When I'm looking for something, that's what I gravitate to and find every time. I don't know what I would do with this. Probably I could put a journal in it because it's very pretty. I don't know what else I would do with the box. But it is very pretty, and it has the magnetic closure. So I don't know, maybe I'll just fix it up and use it to host a gift or something. Same color scheme, just beautiful. This is, that pillowcase type lace. I think it was $2.50 for the roll. I unpacked everything because it was just easier to show you everything. And so there's quite a bit of yardage on here. I wouldn't know exactly, I'm going to guess and say there's at least 10 yards on here. So yes, Deb and Jen, I will put aside some of this for you as well. But yeah, just fun lace, and it, how it matches these things is just pretty amazing, that, it's all part of the same color scheme. So I think this is going towards the Peacock Journal one way or another. So Deb and Jen, yes, I put some aside for you. It is so fun to have these girls local that I can pass some of this stuff on, because I'm not going to use every yard of that blue ribbon. I'm not going to use every page of a book or things like that. So it's fun to have them, and if they see something and they like it, they can let me know. I didn't pay huge amounts of money for this stuff, so to share it or give it away or gift it is not a big deal to me. And if it's something where I really spent a lot of money on it, well then yeah, I would say, well no, you got to fork up the money. But for the most part, it is so fun to have people to share this stuff with that are local. So I'm not paying for postage and that kind of thing. But I do put stuff aside for my gals on YouTube and for my gals back in Manitoba. And when I have a chance to see them or exchange a box or something, then I make it work. So out of my other girls, if you see something you like, you can always let me know, and there's a package on the works for you anyway. I picked up this roll, and Jen and Deb, yes, some is going to you. It is a wired edge ribbon. I think it says that there was 20 yards on here. I don't think there's 20 yards. There's probably about 10 yards on here, because this doesn't go all the way to the end. It's just a little ways. So there's about 10 yards. It's a wired edge ribbon. It will be nice to make some flowers if you want something, very florally, polka dots. It's great for belly bands, for doing ruffle trim if you take the wires out. A few uses, but it was only a couple bucks, so I figured, I'm gonna buy it and then I'll share it with everybody. So got that. And whenever I see it, I always pick it up. This was at one time $7.99. Can you believe it? Yeah. No, I don't know if I got this mixed up here or what. Something's going wrong here. Anyway, I have two rolls of this. It's brown, but it's kind of silvery. There's a little bit of gray or something in this. It's an unusual color. But because of that, I picked it up and I thought, well, it's very much like an antique color to me. So it's something I could see using. I just got to figure out what happened here. But yeah, two rolls. They were $1 a roll, but originally they were $7.99. Now this is called Funny. Looks like it's a German or something. It's not in English, so. But interesting. Love it. Love the color. This was a fun find. This was $2. And at first when I looked at it, I saw fleur-de-lis when I looked at it. And I thought, oh, some kind of little applique things. And there's other colors in here. And then when I opened it up, oh, I guess I got 3 rolls of this. Yeah, I see another roll here. Okay. And then when I opened it up, they are the Asian knots. You know, they are a closure that you would put on clothing. You often see garments where they have, and it's like a knot here to, oh, there we go. So that's how they button close it, is using that knot through the loop. And so often you will see garments that will have like 3 of these on the garment, and they're just so pretty. And what a great way to have a closure. So I thought this might be something I could use on a journal, although these are not easy to wrap this around here. I guess it just takes some practice and working it a little bit. But you could have a sari tie that comes around as well, and you know, pull it from both ends, so it can be something that can come off of your journal. So it's something to think about, play around. But I just thought, you know, for $2, either way I could use it as a single little applique, or I can use it as a pair to close a journal or a page or something. So there's the purple and the blue, and then this green. And there's quite a few of these. So I will share some of this as well. And then this is what threw me, because, you know, I was trying to figure it out. I thought, oh, maybe it's just some extra fabric or bits that they had in the bag. And there are 3 of these I can't explain it. I just don't get the connection. So this one has, it's like a little horn, like a bone horn type of thing. And then it has a flower on the other end. It's a faux suede, it's not real. And I don't know how it's not elastic, so I don't know what you tie with this, or if you tie something with it. I think I will just pass these on. They're not even really cute, to be honest with you, so I will just throw that in the pile to go back to the thrift shop. But then there was all of these, and some of them have the knots and some of them are just loops, but I didn't figure that out until I opened it, and it wasn't until I examined it further. So this is sewn into your clothing along the side. If this were your garment, you would stitch it onto the side of your garment and then do the same on this side, and then this would be your little button type closure. So I hope you can see that there. So I thought, yeah, they're kind of cute. I don't know if I would use them or not, but I have lots of them. And so I didn't count them, but I think there's at least 10 sets here, if not more. But yeah, it's kind of a cute little closure. So now it makes me think of closures that I would want to make using this idea. So stay tuned for that, because maybe we'll play around and make some, but you know, maybe not necessarily a ball, but maybe a bead, and just kind of play on a journal cover that way, maybe with some elastic, so it allows your journal to expand. So yeah, there's some possibilities there. This might be good on the side of a journal. I don't have a journal handy, but I have a book. So if you had this stitched on either side, this would allow some expansion of your book, and then have a closure. Especially when it's an alligator mouth, you might want to use something like this in your journal. But very easy to make something to replicate this, that it would look a little bit nicer, and to certainly replicate it with elastic instead of cord that is restricting, but the elastic would allow it to expand more as the journal expands. So yeah, we'll have to play around and make some of these in the future. Just gonna put that aside again. So yeah, so there's quite a few of those in the pile, but I would use these. I'll stick them in the, in a jar to remind myself, but I think I would use them as a design idea more than actually use these ones. But you never know. But this is definitely not a keeper, so I will send those off somewhere unless somebody says they really want them because they're kind of weird. I don't even want the little bone thing. Even if I took that off, is made out of plastic, so it's not really very attractive. Hope you can see that. Anyway, so there's that. And then I bought these 2 little bottles. They were $1 each, but they're old. They're antiques. It contents 2 fluid ounce. So I'm going to take them upstairs, wash them up, and they will go in my collection of oddities upstairs. So they are in good shape. They must have had a screw cap on them, like I'm thinking like one of those little black metal ones possibly, but I have corks that I can put in them to display them. So just 2 cute little jars. And then yeah, because we don't have enough elastic. Did you see the two big rolls of elastic I got the other time? Well, this one I paid $2.50 for this, I think, and it is, well, it says 2 gross yards on here, and a gross is 144, so if it's 2 gross, that's 288, and then they wrote on here 288 yards. 288 yards. Yeah, that's a lot. So girls, let me know how much you want. It's elastic, so it'd be great for doing a Midori style travel notebooks, but yeah, 288 yards. It just follows me around, this stuff. I bought this necklace for $1. Lots of mileage here. It is 3 or 4 strands. I'm not buying as much jewelry. I actually am starting to say, nope, step away. Unless it's something really unusual like this. But if it's just regular jewelry, I got enough going on. But this has a lot of chain. It has a lot of linked beads. So this is fun to take apart in small sections to add into something. This gets a lot of mileage. I could connect it all together to make a couple of window dangles, but I probably won't. So I will put it in my studio and use it bits by bits. And then there is this top. Now, it's not my choice, definitely, but it's an animal print. I seem to be gravitating to those as well, but it has that shibori style of manipulation where it's got a little bit of there's pleats in here, like it's ironed right into the fabric. I don't know if you wash it, if it comes out. I don't think so. It's used, so somebody obviously washed it, I'm sure. But it's got that, pleated look to it. And this is very attractive to do beadwork and slow stitching in the pattern here. So it's something I would like to play around with. It would also make it's very lightweight, I don't know what it is. It's, like very nylon-y mix of something. I don't see a tag in here. It's not, I would use it for a journal cover, but I would certainly put something underneath it to give it a little bit more stability. But I just thought it would be fun to play on beading within these designs and within the pleats, because I've been seeing more and more of where people are doing beadwork with shibori style manipulated fabric is what it is. So if you want to look it up on YouTube, you will come across some really interesting designs that people are beading on. And I wouldn't use this in huge patches unless I was doing a journal cover. Then I would use like the whole, like a 10 by 12 kind of piece. But there's certainly enough here. This is a larger top, so I can certainly get, you know, a multitude of journals out of here, although I don't know for sure that that's how I would use it. Interesting fabric. It's not hemmed, so it's, I guess they just melt it flat or whatever, but very interesting fabric. I don't know, like I said, what it is. It's different. I don't see a tag anywhere inside here, but it was $2, so I figured, you know what, I'm just attracted to the design and the fabric itself, so I thought, you know, I'm going to play around with this and see what happens. I think it was also very annoying for somebody because this inside interfacing or you know, whatever this is here, I can't think of what the name is now right off the top of my head, but it keeps pulling out, so I'm sure whoever had this said, oh, can't stand that, because I know any shirt I get like that, I have to let it go. But that needs to be washed. So second from the last is okay, the best for the last is inside. I don't know if you'll know it's the best for the last, but you'll get a good laugh out of it anyway, because I'm cracking myself up just thinking about it. It is one of these books that, you know, it's a fake book. It's just a little box that opens up and you fill it full of stuff. I love the floral design. It's got a floral spine. Has seen some better days, but I wanted to store things in there that are for upcoming journals and stuff that, you know, or certain kinds of things in particular that are kind of color related here with this pinks and yellows and reds. So that's probably what I'm going to store in here. In fact, you know, I've still got them sitting here, so I'm just going to grab them. If you watch my dyeing episodes with the printer inkjet inks, you can see where I'm going with this, right? The colors match really nicely. So I'm thinking that these are all going to go in here because it's that same color flow of pinks and reds and yellows. So this is all going to go in there. And then I've got the blues too. I might store them all in there because it'd be a great place to host them all. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking might go in here to keep, so that I do use a lot of containers like this. If I don't visually get to see it when I scan through my studio, I use containers like this that associate with whatever I'm putting in here. So it will remind me that those fabrics are in here, and that's how I know where to find them. And then also, I've mentioned this before, I usually, once a week or so in my studio, I do a little walkabout for myself. And I open drawers, I touch things, I feel them, I look at them, I fan through them, just to remind myself of things that I sometimes forget I have. I don't do the whole studio, it would take hours, but I do a section of the studio, and I remind myself of little things. So anything that's in boxes, I open it up, because even though I know I'm going to put those trims in here, it's always nice to open it up and actually see them again, so that I can remind myself, oh yeah, I want to use this for something. So that's what I would keep boxes like this for. Same with, you know, this little trinket box here, this peacock box. It will be things that are, you know, color coordinated like this, and that will have, you know, peacocks or maybe even butterflies in here too, but all in those kinds of colors. And so it's just fun to open up a box like this and find those things in the box. But what's in this box? You don't want to find one of these in this box in my studio, because you'd go, oh my God, Kim. Now, before I show it to you, I'm going to say it is brand new. It has never been used. I checked and double checked. It has never been washed. The fabric is not in any way in any stress, so you know it's fabric. And I paid $2 for it, and I said it is so worth it, and I just laughed as I was bringing this home. And this is size small, so I can't even wear it. So again, you know it's fabric. And none of my gal pals can wear it. It's a size small. You know, who am I kidding? None of them can wear it. But are you ready for this? I bought it for what's on it. And what's on it will actually probably stay in here anyway. But it's one of those little onesie things. and it was $2. It is brand new. It's never been used. I've checked it over before I brought it in the house, before I brought it up to the counter. And the woman gave me this strange look. I said, I don't want it for myself. Trust me, I just want it for the appliques that are on it. The appliques are absolutely gorgeous. Like, look at that. So it'll take me all of 10 minutes to take these off of here, and then I will discard this onesie. I don't need it. It even has the plastic things inside, and the plastic up here. I may keep the label, definitely, because it says Top Chic, so that's kind of fun for my label collection. It's got some metal hardware, nothing fancy, but I do pull that off because, again, it's not something that is comes apart easily or breaks down easily in the garbage. So I try to use this stuff any way I can in my own work. And avoid putting this kind of stuff in the landfill. But the fabric will go in the landfill eventually, I guess. But yeah, so I will take a few minutes to take this off. But I thought for $1 each, these were gorgeous appliques. And so again, you see how, if you saw my last thrifting video, I found all those white appliques in a store, and now I found these two. So it just kind of flows, and so that's why I seem to know that you know, when I find things, that I'm supposed to work with them. So the inside of the box, again, you see the colors. I will add this. You know, it's not to say that I will use them at the same time, but it will be a collection of these kinds of things that will go in this box. It has to be wiped out and cleaned first, but it'll be these kinds of things that go in the box. And that for me is just a way to inspire myself. I will add some complimentary ribbons and some flowers and some beads so that when I open up this box, I can say, oh, I'm ready to put something together here. And that's how I like to display things for myself. So that is my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. My little girly thing here. Woohoo! But you know what? Keep your eyes open. I always tell you, craft with your eyes wide open. And when you go thrifting, thrift with your eyes wide open, because you will find this stuff. You just have to look in the right spots. I ended up in the lingerie. In lingerie, you can often find some really nice trims on things, but you know, it's kind of yucky to me, so I'm always hesitant. But you know, I looked this over and I was quite confident that it hasn't been worn in any way, shape, or form. Not even tried on, I don't think. So thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what was your favorite if you can, and of course like and subscribe if you're new to my channel, and certainly like the video. And I always love your comments. I am a little behind in commenting back, but I do get to them eventually. Have yourself a very creative day and a creative week, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye for now.